you are losing money because you are making these mistakes as an agency owner. And it's nothing to be ashamed of. I used to make these mistakes too, but they're so easy to fix that if you implement all the strategies in this video, you could literally double your income overnight. Without further ado, here are the top 5 mistakes that agency owners make that are keeping them poor. Number 1 is underpricing your services. I see many agency owners start with very, very low pricing, and that's not terrible, because at a certain point you don't know enough to be charging a premium rate. But I also know people who have been in the game for 2-3 years and are still charging $20 a video. The only way to make more money is to either get more clients or get paid more by each client. So once you get good enough, you have to raise your prices. Otherwise, you are simply undervaluing yourself and doing amazing work under market cost. Now, if your agency is shit, do not raise your prices because you do not know enough to warrant those prices. But if you consistently get good views for your clients, if you consistently deliver on time, if you consistently have a higher quality than expected, if you're a good manager, then it's time to bump up those prices. Now, the second issue is a little bit more unknown. One of the first steps in creating an agency is finding a niche, the people that you're going to be selling your services to. And what I also see a lot is people who chose this niche and then leave it later for a random unknown niche, or they decide to not have a niche at all and just sell to everyone. Now, both of these are wrong for 2 reasons. Number 1, you do not have the time to be catering to 1,000 different types of videos that you need to make. You don't have time for your employees or your editors to learn 100,000 new styles. Your main team should be focusing on what they know best. And that's the niche that you chose originally. And eventually you're going to become an expert in that field or that niche. And you can start charging an even higher premium for your services. Now this next mistake causes a lot of people losses instead of profits each month. And that's taking on bad clients. There are good clients that pay on time, know exactly what they want, understand that you're a human and not a machine, but you know me, I'm a fucking machine, but whatever. Or overall difficult clients to work with. These clients waste your time and your energy. And I've had situations like this where I focus 80% of my energy on one client and 20% on 10 others. This is what you call poor client vetting. And while for a lot of people it may seem tempting to just take that client's money up front and try to deliver everything as much as possible, once you reach the later stages of your agency, you can't afford to waste those 2 hours a day on some bad client who might even leave a negative review or ask for a refund. So I highly recommend you choose a client vetting process that ensures each client that signs with you is going to be a quality client and is not going to cause problems. Some red flags to watch out for include them telling you they have to ask their wife because that just means they're unable to make a decision by themselves, and them asking about your refund policy. Another thing I found is I asked a lot of my clients to pay with either crypto or through PayPal friends and family just so I can save a little bit on fees. Of course, it's completely optional and I will only ask of that of tenured clients, but I get a little bit suspicious if I ask them to pay in crypto when they're clearly a crypto guy, or pay through Zelle and PayPal family and friends, or a bank transfer, and they say no, they want a Stripe invoice. A lot of the times that I've had this happen with 2 clients is that the reason they want a Stripe invoice is they want a back charge later, and they'll just create a shit ton of problems with you. You still have to pay the editors if you want to be a good boss. So overall, just try to suss out things before you get paid and before you do the work. That's another thing. Another great way to avoid shit clients is to make sure you always get paid up front. Because if you get paid with any of the methods I talked about, bank transfer, crypto, PayPal family and friends, even if they're the fucking angriest people on earth, they can't get their money back. And that allows you to still cover your bottom line, cover your ass, and then you can refund if you wish, if you're a nice guy. The 4th mistake that you're making in your agency is taking a shit ton of time to do basic things. Now, after I had my agency running for a few months, I started streamlining processes, streamlining the hiring process, streamlining the client acquisition process to make sure that everything saved as much time as possible, to make sure that everything took as little time as possible. This includes things like hiring a manager for my outreach team, switching to automated DMs instead of DMing myself, and creating documents and PowerPoints to onboard new editors faster and with clear communication. Same thing with my outreachers. Another major part of this is to make sure you track your income. Now that might seem extremely basic, but I know people who are doing $20K a month and they don't even have a basic profit and loss calculator. Well, you're really fine with literally just using a Notion spreadsheet to track all your finances. That's all you need. But it's a lot worse if you're not tracking your finances, because how can you be improving if you don't actually know how much money you made this month or last month or fucking 2 years ago. So tracking your finances is extremely, extremely important. Now this fifth one is extremely controversial. I hear a lot of people say they focus on client retention instead of client acquisition, or they focus on client acquisition instead of client retention. Now both of these are wrong because you need to do both. But client acquisition cannot be ignored compared to client retention. Because even after you sign a client, if you have a 100% chance of keeping him, they're still only giving you a set amount of money per month. You can upsell them, but at the end of the day, a $1,000 client is not going to turn into a $5,000 client. And let's say you have 5 clients who are giving you $1,000 a month. You could upsell them to $1,500. Now you're making $7,500 a month, but you don't really have anywhere else to go, which is why you must always be looking for new clients. You must always have your DMs running. You must always have your outreach team outreaching. You must always be looking for new clients, whether that's inbound, outbound, whatever. I don't give a fuck. New clients are the lifeblood of your company. If you don't have them, you're gonna die. Now you can do both, but it's also very important to not spend too much time on client retention. Now, the secret is balancing both, because if you also spend too much time on client acquisition, you're going to have a massive drop-through rate. So you're going to have clients that stay for a month and then never come back. And that's also not good because your most profitable months are the second, third, fourth, fifth, etc. Once you learn that client's style, once you learn what he wants, you're going to need less revision, less time spent. So eventually, you want to have all your clients to be tenured so you know exactly what to do with them. And the onboarding process for a client is the most expensive part for an agency. So there has to be a golden balance of both. And this is actually very difficult, and I can make a whole 20-minute video about that. If you want a whole video about the debate of retention versus acquisition, comment down below. I'll make one, of course, 100% free because I'm the nicest fucking guy on earth. And that's a wrap. If you're making these 5 mistakes, you can go fix them immediately. Thank you so much for watching. Leaving a sub or like would be appreciated, but not needed. I hope you have a wonderful day and go make some fucking money.